and in the locker room. It's that time of the year. Happy holidays, everyone, from 2K Sports as we get set to bring you some mid-season NBA action. I'm Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony courtside. On our sidelines tonight, reporting Allie LaForce. And checking out Utah's opening lineup, we've got Keontae George. Lauri Markkanen is out there with Nurkic. Then there's Bailey. And it's Mykhailiuk in at the 2 guard. Inside, Nurkic. That falls. Nice speed that time from George. Now upon a really intriguing part of the season, Greg, it seems we've seen enough to give these teams some kind of identity.
I tell you, if teams are still searching for an identity, it's fair to say things probably aren't going well.
Now, here is George. He seems to always find a way to rack up points, currently averaging 24 points a game. Shot clock at 6. Pass to Mykhailiuk. From outside, off the mark.
And the great shooters know when they've got enough opening to go for the 3. I didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession.
Now here's Murray. His last outing, 16 points for him. Out to the wing. Jokic inside. He's guarded by Nurkic. And Jokic gets it to go. The assist by Murray. And so George will bring it up for Utah. This has truly been a special era, Clark, for this Nuggets franchise.
You know, it has been. There's no denying it. Over the last 5 years, they've held the second-best regular season record after the Celtics. Of course, the franchise got its first NBA title in 2023, thanks to the all-time greatness of Nikola Jokic.
And Jokic throws it down hard.
You know, for all of his agility and craftiness, the slick moves, Jokic not afraid to go old school and just throw it down on you.
Let's see the connected cam angle on that stunning play, brought to you by AT&T. Now, here's George. He had 27 points last game. Three-pointer, Markkanen. It's hauled in by the Nuggets.
That's another miss. Already they've missed 3 out of 4 to start.
Jokic passes to Murray. And it's Murray with the jam.
How about the guard getting up? Jamal Murray flying to the rack.
Jazz trail by 6. Right now, let's take a second to catch up with Allie LaForce on the sideline.
I had a chance to talk with the head coach for Denver. He told me when he was watching film of their opponent, what stood out was Lauri Markkanen's efficiency. Coach said Markkanen doesn't need high usage to be effective. He gets a lot of his points off of movement, and he brings versatility to this offense. Guys, back to you.
All right, Allie, thanks.
This is as good as it gets for a first quarter in terms of shooting the basketball.
You're exactly right. I mean, everything seems to be dropping. Impressive scoring here.
And so the timeout by Will Hardy here. Looking for a breather and maybe adjusting a thing or two. Hardaway's checked in for Denver. Brown comes in for Murray. Let's take a look at the players that have been grabbing rebounds in bunches to lead the NBA over the last 10 games. Fifth on the list, Jokic.
When it comes to rebounding, it's been a stupendous stretch for him. He's been using his body and strength so effectively.
Back to George. Outside, Markkanen. Takes the three. Nailed from three-point land.
How about the shooting stroke from Markkanen, appearing very comfortable pulling the trigger from deep?
You know, Greg, in recent seasons, Lauri Markkanen has taken on a leadership role.
And Markkanen has been the featured player on some very young teams, and he's really embraced that role, proving to be a positive influence both on and off the court.
Basket counts.
Well, they count on big-time production from him at the offensive end.
Jazz trail by 5. And George kicks to Markkanen. Pass to Mikhailuk. The three. And it's Jokic with the rebound. Jokic just got his 4th rebound in this one. Now here's Brown. No scoring in this one. Back to Jokic. The shot's good. Brown making the play.
Impressive seeing Jokic go off like this. I mean, you can tell his teammates are being energized by what he's doing.
Pass to Markkanen. Over Watson. Markkanen can't get it to go.
You can tell he's just a touch out of sync here, but he's battling, continuing to fight.
Down against Nurkic. Now here's Watson. Denver passing it around. Here's Jokic. Misses the baby hook. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Nuggets ahead, leading by 7. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter of action so far. In a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Nuggets.
Everything working for them inside so far, guys. Tons of high-quality shots that they're knocking down inside.
And one other thing they've done well today, guys, share the ball. I mean, set up teammates and just playing unselfishly.
On the floor for Utah, getting going here in the second quarter. Filipowski's out there with Kevin Love. Then it's Collier. And it's Hendricks in at the small forward. And in the summer of 2022, Greg, the Utah Jazz traded away their franchise cornerstones, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell.
And that signaled the beginning of their rebuild, but they've overachieved for a couple of seasons now that ended last year when they really bottomed out.
And now, Allie LaForce has something for us from the sideline.
Thank you. The Utah Jazz are going young, but this is a franchise that has a winning history, and that culture is still around. Coach Will Hardy said, the messaging doesn't change. The players have bought into the little things that takes to win. This is a cohesive group that's committed to helping each other. Guys, back to you.
Building the right way. Thanks a lot, Allie. A 3-ball. Hendricks can't get it to go. The Nuggets leading by 4. Brown outside. Pass to Holmes. Trying to find Valanciunas. It's to him. And he misses his first shot.
Operating from mid-range, that's a shot he likes. I mean, I'm sure he'd love to have that one back.
Here's Collier. Here's Sensabaugh. Scoreless thus far. Connects from three-point range.
Pick works well there. Not much resistance from the D.
Yeah, that's not the defense you need. You got to be tougher defensively.
So David Adelman's decided to call a timeout here. Coach is going to take a few minutes to regroup and go over the strategy. Greg, a lot of the best scorers do what's called hunting, looking to create contact with the defender that they've zeroed in on.
Yeah, and that can be a legitimate technique to really negate a shot blocker. But when the offensive player basically initiates all the contact, we could do without some of those cheap foul calls against the defenders.
Nurkic against Jokic. Hardaway with the bounce pass. 6 on the shot clock. Jokic sets the screen for Murray. Hardaway, no good. Utah's gone 2 of 4 from three-point range so far in the second quarter. And it's Collier missing. The Nuggets leading. For 3, Murray. And another miss by Denver.
And he didn't punish them for the weak coverage there, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
And now the Nuggets, fast break. Kicks it out to Johnson. It's good, and Watson picking up the assist. And the Nuggets lead by 4.
Yeah, I love the communication and the chemistry between those teammates.
Right, we see a lot of change in the NBA, but Nikola Jokic always seems to stay in the MVP conversation.
And not just in it, at the top of it. His ability to affect the game is basically unmatched. He dominates in just about every single aspect.
And the Jazz with possession here after Tim Hardaway missed from long range. Nurkic the pass to Bailey. Another miss by Utah. The Nuggets leading by 4. Hardaway kicks to Murray. Pass to Johnson. To the middle. Jokic doing the job inside.
When Jokic is rolling like this, it's a beautiful thing to watch, and there's not a lot the defense can do. The Joker, as a matchup, is a nightmare.
And so the timeout by Will Hardy here. He made the decision to huddle up with his guys and talk about strategy. A different look for Denver. Jones checked in for Hardaway, and it's Brown in for Murray. And a switcher also for Utah. George is checked in. .58 seconds left to play in the first half. Pass to Bailey. Fires from deep. The Jazz with another miss. And here's Brown. He'll bring it up for the Nuggets. They've only given up 6 here in this quarter. Tough loss coming against the Rockets in the last game they played.
Well, I felt like they were never on the same page defensively in that one. Gave up way too many easy shots.
And, you know, that's all about effort, and I'm sure their coach let them have it for the lack thereof.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Nobody near George. The Jazz again can't hit it. Denver leading by 6. Jones dishes to Brown. Pass to Jokic. Shoots over Nurkic. That misses off the backboard.
You know, they don't score on that shot, but they're going to be happy with those kinds of possessions.
And so that brings the first half to a close. Nuggets lead by 6. And we'll be back right after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in a bit.
Please direct your attention to center court. And get ready for the fan half-court shot. Drum roll. They're measuring up the shot. It was so close. One more time, a round of applause for the participants.
Thanks for tuning in. Did you miss us? Before we discuss the game at hand, let's first check out the upcoming schedule.
We're going to learn a lot about them by the end of this stretch, facing some good teams that can either expose you or empower you.
And in some cases, both.
And now, guys, it's time to talk about that challenging first half for the Jazz.
Their shooting has been bad, like Kenny's wardrobe bad. We need to be smarter offensively, run through the plays till you get good looks.
I'm not even going to touch that one. I'm going to let it go.
That'll do it for our show tonight. Thanks for joining us, and we'll send you back to Kevin Harlan for more Hoops action.
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. You look at Jokic in this game, he has been everywhere.
Man, how about the amount he's contributing in the scoring column through 2 quarters? He has been terrific.
And you know what? They've come at him a few different ways defensively, and nothing has slowed him down.
Johnson is out there with Murray. Then it's Jones. Then there's Peyton Watson. And it's Jokic in at the 5. That's the group in the game for the Nuggets. Now here's Markkanen. 5 on the clock. The 3 from George. It's hauled in by the Nuggets. And now let's send it over to our courtside reporter, Allie LaForce.
Thanks, guys. Lauri Markkanen is a 7-footer with touch, but he can also attack off the dribble. Referencing comparisons to Dirk Nowitzki, he said, quote, "When someone hits a fadeaway jumper, they say, that's the Dirk. Maybe someday I'll get the drag step to be called the Lauri." Guys?
Ooh, that's a sweet move, too. All right, Allie, thank you for the report.
And nice touch inside. George can finish from all 3 levels.
To the inside. And Jokic with the basket on the assist by Johnson. Jokic has got the lead up to 9 now for the Nuggets. Here's Bailey, and finished off by Bailey.
Well, you know, this is what you like about him as a facilitator. He hits his man where he can do something with the rock.
There's always a need for shot makers in the NBA, GA, and that's what Ace Bailey brings to the floor.
Yeah, Bailey has a smooth jumper with a high release point that allows him to shoot over just about any defender. And when you pair that with his physical tools, his upside is through the roof.
Denver leading by 5. Johnson with it. He provides a good amount of offense for the team, averaging around 11.5 points a game. Jokic sets the screen from early. Off target with his 3.
And even without that 3-ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
George looking around. Pass to Mikhailuk. Hits it from 3-point range. Now just a 2-point Nugget lead.
Everything going to plan here to start the third. 80% shooting thus far.
Murray. Count that one. Murray's got his second basket of the game.
He's got a well-rounded game. Murray can score from just about anywhere. And the more points he gets inside, the more space he gets outside.
The Jazz working the ball around now. Bailey with a wide-open look. And another 3 for Utah.
The adjustments they've made offensively They're putting guys in a position now to succeed.
It's certainly been an impressive run. They finally found the right formula to break down the defense.
So David Adelman's decided to call a timeout here. He's going to take a minute here to get things straightened out. Denver making a switch here. Hardaway's checked in. Kyle Filipowski's checked in for Utah. Three minutes gone now in the third quarter.
2 minutes remaining.
Here's Jokic. Good for the basket. Number 9. He's only missed 2 shots from the floor all night.
Boy, one of the very best big men at handling the ball. Jokic's moves and creativity really set him apart as a big guy.
Now, here's Nurkic. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Outside for George. Clock at 6. The Jazz need to get off a shot here. 2 open that time. Made it look too easy. Bailey's got 9 points now in the quarter.
That is good offense, unselfish play.
Outside Hardaway. Now Jokic. He's got 18. Wide open look here for Murray. No good on the triple.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
The battle to a standstill on the boards has really been something to watch. And the game's not over yet. We'll see if one of these teams maintains more energy than the other going down the stretch.
The Nuggets have gone 4 of 7 to get things started here in the second half. Pass to Watson. And here is Murray. Here's Jokic. He's guarded by Nurkic. And the basket is good. And that's now 20 points for Jokic.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
Now, here's Nurkic. Over Jokic. Nurkic can't hit.
Got what he wanted, but then blew the lay-in. He tricked that one.
Hardaway kicks to Murray. Pass to Jokic. Two free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
First personal foul. First team foul.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
And you know, guys, he had a big game at the free throw line in their last outing.
Matter of fact, a lot of his points came from the stripe. He was feeling it. You know, he's been one of those players they've wanted on the line as much as possible this season, especially in close games, guys.
Free throw, good. Jokic. And Jokic drops them both.
When you send somebody like him to the line, it's pretty much easy money.
Jokic firing on all cylinders for Denver. And of everything he's doing well, it's his scoring that you point to first. Already 22 points in this game. We come back right after this. And I know I speak for all of us when I say I can't wait to see what kind of finish awaits us here in the fourth quarter. And Utah, looking at who they've got to start the fourth quarter. They've got Kyle Filipowski. Collier out there with Markkanen. And it's Sensabaugh in at the 2.
For him, it has not been a game to remember, but all they care about is that W.
And there's the bucket from Markkanen.
And I like that. Markkanen needs to play like a 7-footer because he's got the talent, but he also has a pretty strong frame when he wants to use it.
Now here's Murray. Lets it go with the 3. Filipowski grabs the board.
That is not the shot you need to be looking for when you're trying to break out of a slump.
Pass to Sensabaugh. The baseline J off the mark. The Nuggets shooting 47% from the floor, getting it done with the step back. And it's Murray with the jam.
Just the kind of play they need in a game this close.
You know, that's the kind of aggression they want from their floor leader.
And it just forces the defense to pay more attention to him, guys, which we know can open up things for others.
Inside, here's Markkanen, and it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Markkanen.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
Jusuf Nurkic, he's checked in for Utah. We're just over a minute and a half now into the fourth. And we've got a timeout from David Adelman. And clearly an important juncture. He's going to have some choice words with his team. So it's both teams making substitutions here. And now let's swing it over to Allie LaForce on the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what Denver's coach was going over with his team. They said in the huddle, this is it. No excuses. Let's figure out a way to win. A couple of players spoke as well, firing up their teammates. A great ending could be in store, guys.
And as always, Allie, great job. Thank you. Johnson outside. Pass to Watson. Outside, Jones. Now, here's Jokic. He's guarded by Nurkic. And Jokic gets it to go. The assist from Jones. Jokic has got 24 points.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
Now, here's George. Marking in a screen on Murray. Just 4 to shoot. Down it goes for 3.
And perimeter scoring, I have to imagine it was a topic of discussion at halftime.
Certainly. I mean, they saw a weakness in the perimeter defense and took advantage of it.
Here's Jokic. Jones outside. Now Murray. Markkanen pulls it down.
You can't look at the result of that shot. They'll take that whenever they get it.
Well, you know, I hear you. That's a good look, but when you're that wide open, I think you got to knock it down.
And it misses. Denver in the lead. Outside, Jones. Now Murray. Jones looking for an opening. Johnson. Jokic. A slam by Jokic.
When it's an important possession, Jokic steps up big.
Jazz trail by 3. Over 3.5 minutes through the final quarter now. Markkanen can't tie it up as that one goes astray. And so it's Johnson who brings the ball up for the Nuggets. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. And here's Jokic. Johnson outside. Green from outside.
Classic Jokic move right there. The defense is drawn to him inside, so he sends the ball right back out. He plays with such a high IQ.
And Will Hardy calls timeout here. Coach clearly feeling the necessity to regroup with so much at stake here. George against Murray. Shoots it up. Johnson rips down the board. Denver's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Yeah, that goes in.
Late in the game, up big, they continue to attack.
I don't think you want to get loose and sloppy or ease up, but it is time for them to start using that clock a bit.
And no good. The dry spell continuing for him. Here's Jones. Johnson outside. Now Jokic. Nurkic with the steal.
I think it's safe to call this one a wrap.
Yep, I'd agree with you. Chalk it up. W in the bag.
So the Nuggets win it. A confident win and one where they clearly showed the greater effort.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid performance, particularly here at home. And I think they built off that edge of being here and playing with just a little more confidence than their opponent.
And Allie LaForce has got something now for us from the floor. Allie, take it away.
Well, Jamal, I know you have a takeover mentality. Tonight you were focused on passing early. Can you talk about that?
You get easier way in, but play my game at the same time. I just want to make sure we ran the court well, get everybody else going because they've been hooping. It's been a great team effort, and tonight I just try to do what I can to get everybody going.
Seeing your teammates score is always rewarding. Thanks so much, Jamal.
Oh, terrific job, Allie. Thank you so much. That was enjoyable. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. So for Allie LaForce and my colleagues here at the table, Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for being with us. And as we leave you, we give you our player of the game, Nikola Jokic.